now that that's over, I'm thinking of baking. There's nothing like a nice warm baked dish on a cold winter's day. Let me get myself organized and we'll start. Welcome to another episode of Healthy Living. My name's Cole, your host, and tonight we're going to be doing some baking. And we're going to be baking this kind, the potato, or I like to call it the almighty spud. And I'm not talking about baked potatoes. I'm not talking about French fries. I'm not talking about fried potatoes. I don't know about you, but I've seen one potato too many fried or French fried or baked. So tonight we're going to be looking at making potato pie. And I'm really excited about this because this is very, very different and very tasty. And for the whole family, it's something that may very well last more than one meal, which for you mums out there is going to make a big difference. So let's get into it. For our French potato pie, we're obviously going to start with potatoes. I'm going to peel those off and work with them a little bit. I've already pre-processed some onion, and you'll see here I've ground it very finely, and it's going to be layered within the pie. And I find onion offers a nice touch of sweetness to the overall flavor of the pie. Some garlic, and I'm not going to go heavy with the garlic. It's going to be a little bit sparingly. And it makes a big difference. Garlic can be very overpowering when you add it to your cooking, so always be conscious of that. This is the Busy Mums potato pie, so I bought pre-made dough, which I'm just going to layer in. And from a herb point of view, I'm going to use a little bit of black pepper, some basil, some salt, a little touch of cumin, a little bit of cilantro, some sage, and some bay leaves, and obviously olive oil is going to be in there as well. My base with the pie in terms of my overall juice will be low-fat milk. We don't want this to be too fattening. Even though it's winter and we like our carbs, we don't need to destroy all of the hard work that we put in over summer. Not certainly within one meal at least. So here we go. So when you cut the potatoes, right, you'll notice that I've taken some of the skin off already, and this is about ready to be sliced. I've taken it, obviously I need to tidy it up in a few spots. So you look for any brown spots or things like that, cut those out. And what you end up doing is you slice it fairly fine. You'll see here that from a size point of view, right, there's my thumb. Okay, it's not terribly thick. Obviously different gradings, but I try to keep it fairly thin because it allows me to put more layers in place and add flavoring, and it also cooks a little bit faster. I've just gone through and greased my pan here, I'm going to just use my dish here. So I put olive oil as the base, and I've pre-mixed my herbs now, all in a bowl so I can sprinkle them on easily when I'm layering the pie. Okay, so I've now put my pie crust in place for my dish, and I've put one layer of potatoes on the base. And at this point in time then I'm going to layer in some onion, some garlic, and my herbs. And I'm going to repeat that process layer by layer until I've filled up the pie plate. So you can see here I put my pie crust in place, I put a layer of potatoes down, I've put a healthy splashing of the onion over the top of the potatoes. Remember, they add a sweetness to it, and a little dabbing of the garlic splashed around. At this point in time then too, I'm now going to throw over my herbs. Right, so you see here, right, as I layer them through, okay, You know, we don't want to be too much. They don't want to be too strong, but we want a little bit of a smacking of them. Now I'm going to repeat that process for each layer of the pie. So that was about 11 potatoes, and you'll see here that they've actually filled the dish completely. Probably about 4 onions, and 5 or 6 cloves of garlic. So, and obviously my mixed herbs mixed in. So I'm ready now to put the cover on, or rather pour the milk first and then put the cover on. Now when you're pouring the milk in, just be aware that liquids do expand when they're heated. So you don't want to overfill, but you want to make sure that you do have a healthy coating so that the milk, because let's not forget the milk's going to be soaked into the potato as they're cooking, and it's going to add a little bit of extra flavor and soften the herbs a little bit for you too. So you can see the reason why there's a lip on the dough here on the bottom is because I want to be able to fold it up and seal off the top. Right? So as you can see here, as I run around the edge there, I've gone off and I've closed off the top of the pie, folded it over, and now it's starting to look like something quite nice. This is a really exciting way to have your potatoes. It is far more interesting than French fries and a baked potato, and I'm really excited to see what this turns out like. Now, in regard to my next piece here, so you'll see here as I put my dough down. I've already cut it to size so that it will fit in there. Okay. I'm just going to fold this in, pinching it in, and seal it off on the edge there. You'll see there, right? Sorry, you'll see there that it's actually closed off. And that's kind of nice, right? So that's actually folded in lovely, making a nice lip, okay? And making sure too that as the liquid expands, we're not going to get unnecessary spillage in the oven. I don't know about you, but I hate cleaning the oven, so I'm not interested in doing that. Right? And let's have a look before I put it in the oven. Okay, so now I put the top of the pastry on. You'll see there I smooth the center edge off, so we don't have any obvious seams. I've added a couple notches in there, and I've added a little bit of decoration in terms of a fork, twisting and turning a little bit, trying to give it a little bit more of a style. But realistically, I'm not into decoration. I'm into making some really nice healthy food, something that tastes good and is good for you. So I'm really excited to see what this turns out like. The oven's preset at 350 degrees. I anticipate it'll take it about an hour and a half for this to cook all the way through. Potato pie has been cooking for about an hour and a half, and you can see that I've left it on the bottom ring of the oven because I want to make sure that I'm not burning the pastry. I have to give the potatoes time to cook. Now obviously, just to test them, grab a fork and just stick it in and see if you're getting much resistance from the potatoes. At this point in time, probably still needs about another 30 minutes, but you can see here it's starting to look really good. I've been a little bit smarter with my oven too. I put another tray in underneath the little metal pan to catch any spillage because I don't want to be cleaning the oven too much. But you can see it's looking really kind of tasty already. It's very, very attractive. Okay, the pie's been in the oven for about 15-20 minutes, and you can see here as I move my fork down, I'm not getting much resistance. The potatoes are cooked through, which is a good sign. We're about ready just to baste the top. I'm going to leave it, baste the top here, and put it on the top shelf for another 5 minutes to get a nice golden brown look in terms of the pastry. And then we're ready to take it out of the oven. I think it's looking really good. Okay, so now we have a beautiful potato pie ready to be eaten. going to let this cool a little bit before I make my first cut, which is a good idea with vegetables because sometimes they're a little bit juicy, and when they cool, they tend to thicken up a little bit, which is a nicer way to be dealing with it. I want to avoid breakage on my first cut. I'm really looking forward to trying this, and as I said before, this is a much better way of having potatoes than a baked potato or French fries. It shows a lot more imagination. It's something that's fun and healthy for the whole family. I can't recommend it enough. If you're a purist, make your own pastry. Use wholemeal flour, a bit of wheat germ, something like that, to really add extra fiber and extra goodness to it. In my case, I'm kind of busy. I'm working full-time, so I don't have time to be mucking around and spending 8 hours in the kitchen. I do have time to knock off a couple hours. So within a couple hours, we have a beautiful French potato pie, and I don't think anyone can argue with it in terms of how nice and delicious this will turn out to be. It's a delicious pie, and I know that you're going to enjoy it as much as I enjoyed making it, and as much as I am going to enjoy eating it. So, healthy living, eat more veggies.